Listen, I am beyond excited to carry on with this experience. Last time our choices had consequences, and we realized what kind of game this was. It went from like super cozy to like super savage. Just how I love it. If you don't know, my favorite anime of all time is Re:Zero. I've read the web novel up to Arc 9, as well as all the side stories, as well as just everything I can get my hands on, and this is giving me big Re:Zero vibes, which I love, you know, which is great. Before we start this video, just a little segment I'm gonna do before each one. You feel free to skip past my viewpoints if you would like. So I'm Christian. I believe in the Christian faith. I believe in people getting second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th chances, all that kind of carry on, turning the other cheek, all that kind of stuff. I believe in like genuine kindness and not isolating anyone for indiscretions, right? For indiscretions. It had been a while since I had attended any kind of church service, mostly because for a long time I thought church was just really about raising funds, shaming people into giving what they couldn't, and utilizing fear to get people to stay on the straight and narrow, right? So fear is like a powerful tool that is used in the Christian faith. And I tuned into a YouTube service, and straight away the sermon was about the end times and how close the end times are. And then they had an event going on, and they're like, invite all your friends to this event. We're not trying to expand the church, we just want more people to be saved, right? And you know, and then proceeded to talk about obviously being in the end times, and telling a story about how one of their friends thought that the rapture had come and all this kind of carry on. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. So this is what I don't like about the church system, is that they utilize fear to encourage people to either give more money or to quote unquote spread the word of the Lord and go outside their comfort zones. I think a lot of people should just like understand that our actions rather than our words is what dictates whether someone will follow us or not, right? So if you have someone that you want to introduce to the Christian faith, then you just show them like through your fun and excitement and kindness that you're like a Christian person, but also like you're someone whose values can be respected. You're someone who says what they say and then does it. I think that's like a really good way to kind of look at things. I'm gonna play this on my Twitch channel as well. I have a wonderful Twitch community. Thank you all for being a part of it. It really does give me life to be able to discuss these things openly. And recently I've been thinking about how disconnected we are, like in the world. Like it takes one person to say one thing we don't like, and if you look on YouTube, there's like a million videos telling you to walk away or use this trick to like manipulate them into liking you and all this kind of carry on. And it's crazy to me. What happened to just having a good old-fashioned conversation? What happened to chemistry? What happened to just having fun with each other? What happened to giving people a little bit of grace? We preach kindness, but we don't practice it. And true kindness, is, as well as myself being guilty of this, is giving people the benefit of the doubt, right? So, for instance, I have a friend. They recently told me that this girl had gone crazy over them, and I was like, you're literally just messing with her. Like, of course she's confused. Like, and he's like, yeah, but that's what you do, man. It's all about the biology. I'm just like, bro, it's not my thing, you know. It's not my thing. However, in the past, a younger Drew would have probably been like all about that, right? We grow as we grow. But I think, like, especially when you take micro communities like Twitch and you see like someone says this person is bad, and it's like everyone just believes them and then like isolates that person, right? And for what? Like, instead of having a conversation with them, instead of like trying to understand what's going on, which is true kindness, because understanding leads to understanding. I feel like a lot of people get isolated, and really, as a Christian, is that something that we should be doing? The main point we've been told is to protect our peace, right? But where's that message coming from? Is that like a governmental thing? Is that like society trying to like separate us from each other even more than what we already are? I think that when you really take a look into those concepts and find the answer for yourself, it becomes something that is valuable going forward. At the moment, I'm in a period of isolation, right? So I made very good decisions in accordance with my values to like let some relationships go, not friendships, but relationships. And that being because I couldn't give them what they wanted, and I didn't want them to resent me long term. And you've got to let them have a chance to have a relationship and step out of the way and let that kind of flourish, right? Ingenious, I know. And also I had a girl at the gym ask me out, and I was just like, listen, thank you for the invitation, but I just come to the gym to like work out, and like I thank you for having the courage. And she's like, well, do you want to be friends then? And I'm like, no, because then I already know what you kind of want. And I'm not going to change my mind, right? And that's nothing to do with her. I respect that she had the courage, but it's more so just I don't want to waste anyone's time, you know. If I like someone, I just tell them I like them as well, and if they're like into it, that's cool, and if they're not into it, that's cool. Like, it's just move on. So hopefully that won't get awkward. Hopefully that won't get awkward, but you know what, it'll all work out somehow. And I was really kind, you know, and I was just straightforward, and I think that that's sometimes all you can be. So yeah, lesson of the day, you get a little bit of yappy chan before I start playing this, but I want to play a bit of this because it's enamored me. It's got me so interested in the concept, in what's going on, and this time we need to choose the positive approach to proceed, I think, because last time led down to what could only be described as one of the most unhinged things. If you haven't seen it, please feel free to check out my my day one video of this demo. Again, thank you so much. The developer reached out to me on Discord and said how much fun they had watching the first VOD, which was really encouraging, because I kind of do this as an expression, like expressive, right? I think it's just a good expression, but sometimes it's really hard to stream, you know, because like you're not quite in like that mental energy, and I feel like YouTube's like a really good medium to like get over that. So thank you again for allowing me the chance to play this. I'm really grateful. I appreciate it. Thank you. So now we'll do everything in our power I'll do everything in my power to make sure I don't. I hoped it sounded convincing. I had no idea what had just happened or how exactly I could help, but I was too afraid to ask any questions for fear that Zeus would punish me. I was already shitting bricks after I failed to recognize him.
Ah, I see you have already managed to recruit 2 companions.
Oh, are they our bays?
Huh?
What?
Oh. Oh, this is perfect. According to him, my companions were a goat and a nameless lady who was trying to slit my throat mere moments ago. Wow, that's just great. Amazing even. Callias and the assassin looked deeply surprised, and they must have known what kind of consequences would follow if they refused Zeus's quest. And here I thought the 3 of us could go our own separate ways. But now, I bet if we tried to split up, we'd experience firsthand what divine intervention really looked like.
Impressive!
Well, you're not slacking off. That's good, though you'll be needing more than just those 2. Find those who will fight by your side, those willing to give their life for the victory. Life? I didn't even know if I'd be willing to sacrifice my own life for some argument between 2 brothers who couldn't talk things out. I've always despised war. If they wanted to turn us into pawns, they should have played a game of chess instead. I wasn't able to understand why a simple conversation couldn't work.
Hero?
Form an army, win, and restore peace and order to this land. Simple, right?
Hurry up, before it's too late. The darkness will soon engulf the entire island, and then the others.
Oh.
I wish you luck, my hero. You'll be needing it.
Satella? Wait just a moment, Once again, a bright light blinded me and my companions. At least he spared us from an earthquake this time. When we opened our eyes, he was already gone. I looked at Callias and the assassin to make sure I hadn't dreamed up this whole event. They were both casting distrustful glances at me. That wasn't just in my head, right? Let's give it a good old-fashioned save, because we escaped the bad end. Our Lord really blessed us with his presence.
I don't get it.
It was real, but calling the boy a hero? There's gotta be some kind of mistake here. Me, a hero? It was hard to wrap my head around it all. I just arrived on this island. Already I found myself taking on some suicidal mission. Surely you don't doubt our Lord Assassin. He's never wrong after all. Callias glanced at me, sizing me up from head to toe, and his smile slowly started to fade. At least that's what they say. My face turned red. I knew I wasn't exactly the epitome of manliness. I didn't hit the gym, and my only other regular exercise was a morning dash to the bakery for some fresh bread. But according to Zeus, I've got that something that makes me a better pick than Callias the assassin, and thousands of others under his command. Maybe I'm like a character in a video game who starts weak, but with some grinding and dedication becomes an unstoppable powerhouse. I'm supposed to follow the guy who almost swallowed himself when I gave him a little scare? You put a knife to my throat. I wouldn't call that a little scare. If you were this hero you're talking about, you would have gotten out of that situation on your own, but instead you waited for that goat to save you. Hey, watch it. You can't even handle me, a mere mortal. How do you plan to take on the god of the underworld? I lowered my head. I wanted to snap back, but nothing came to mind. You could argue that Lord Zeus ordered him to build an army, not fight alone. You can't blame him for not handling you on his own. A general relies on their army. That's why he's a general, not just some grunt. I looked at Callias. He smiled at me, but I could feel my confidence creeping back. Biff, what a load of nonsense. I don't know about you, but I'm willing to give him a chance. I believe in our Lord's divine infallibility. If he chose the boy, then he must be the best choice. Thanks, Callius. I'm so glad you believe in me. Besides, after we save the world, they'll be writing ballads about us. Oh, my Sata buddies are going to be so jealous. Oh, I can already picture it. The ballad of the boy and his trusty steed. How many times do I have to say I'm not some animal? I turned towards the forest, holding back a smile. Not gonna lie, that title had a nice ring to it. You can joke all you want, but you know you don't have a choice. You have to join forces with us unless you really want to piss off our lord. We've got better chances of seeing this through together. 3 heads are better than 1 after all. 3 heads are also a bigger target than 1. The girl crossed her arms and slowly shook her head. Finally, though, she sighed, resigned. Alright, fine. Better to keep an eye on you. Who knows what stupid ideas you'll come up with, Drewy? Great. We should probably introduce ourselves now. I'm getting a bit tired of calling you assassin. I'm Callius. I'm Sora. And I don't feel like getting chummy with you. However, if it's really that important to you, you can call me Vespera. Like Tales of Vespera. What's that supposed to mean? Is that your real name, or did you make it up so we'd shut up? What's the difference? Just be glad I gave you a name instead of dragging this topic on for no reason.
Forget it.
Alright, alright. Callius, Vespera, their names sounded so exotic. I bet they must think the same about mine though. So, what do we do now? How are we supposed to find Hades? Callius glanced at me questioningly. I shrugged, having no ideas. You know this place better than I do, so... I stopped mid-sentence, hearing a strange rustling coming from the forest. Something, or maybe someone, was making its way through the bushes at the edge of the forest, growing fainter with each step. Do you hear that too?
How strange.
Yup, and it doesn't sound like any animal. I'm guessing it's not one of your killer friends either. Callius looked at Vespera, who simply rolled her eyes with disdain. We've all seen the eye roll before, I'm sure. Don't be stupid, I don't have any friends in this line of work. In that case, looks like we have an uninvited guest. We glanced at each other, uncertain of what to do with that fact. If someone's been tailing us, we just can't let them slip away. We need to follow them, and if they turn out to be a threat to our mission, eliminate them. What if that's exactly what they want? Maybe they're trying to lure us into an ambush. The rustling grew quieter, almost disappearing in the depths of the forest. Hard to call it an ambush if we're ready for it. Vesper moved slowly, heading towards the source of the sound. Well, can't say I'm not a little curious about the identity of our voyeur. Besides, we'd better stick together. I nodded, and, with Callius, followed Vespera into the trees. And now we'll turn right.
Not bad.
Who would have thought those long ears of yours would finally come in handy? We slowly made our way through the forest, with Callius and his superior hearing leading the way. I tried to walk as lightly as possible, avoiding dry branches and leaves to keep our presence unnoticed. I wondered who exactly we'd encounter. After all, there was nothing to suggest that this person had any hostile intentions. Maybe it was just some scared kid who saw Satire and an armed woman on the beach and panicked, running off into the forest. But the more I thought about it, the less I believed that. The figure moved slowly, paying no attention to noise, almost as if it wanted us to follow. Suddenly, Callius raised his hand, signaling us to stop. I don't hear any steps. Whoever our secret admirer is, they stopped just behind these trees. Well then, time to settle this. Vespera's face hardened with determination. Her fingers hovered over the hilts of her daggers, ready to draw them if our unwelcome guest turned aggressive. We carefully circled the trees and stepped into a small clearing.
Impossible.
What the? In the midst of the grass sat a young woman dressed in a snow white flowing robe, Pandora, that rippled gently with each passing breeze. Her face was calm and serene, and despite her youthful appearance, there was an aura of wisdom about her, as though she knew the answers to all the mysteries of the world. She smiled gently at us and gestured for us to come closer. Who could she be? She looks almost like a priestess. Either way, she doesn't seem like she's going to attack us. In the trees around the clearing, what if someone's hiding there with a bow just waiting for us to step out into the open? I doubt it, but if you're somehow right... Vesper smiled slyly, then took a step forward. Then we can always use the woman as a hostage. We moved towards the seated woman, scanning the surroundings for any signs of an ambush. We found nothing suspicious. The woman remained calm, still gazing at us with those all-knowing eyes. We stopped a short distance from her, and she slowly raised her arms, spreading them wide.
Greetings, my dear ones. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you.
Ooh.
Especially you, young man.
The woman clad in white fixed her gaze on me. I nervously swallowed, feeling a chill run down my spine. Me? It is you who our Lord has chosen. Am I mistaken? The woman seemed to know more than she should. She must have overheard a conversation with Zeus. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Vespera's face twist into a grimace of displeasure. I just hoped she wouldn't charge at an unarmed person. The woman noticed Vespera's tense stance and smiled disarmingly at her.
No need to be wary of me. I am a servant of the gods, just like you.
No need to be wary of me, no need to be wary of me. Sure. Sure. Vespera scoffed under her breath, though I noticed she relaxed a little. You strive towards a normal goal. I'd like to help you achieve it.
I'm not following.
Well, that's fantastic and all, but where did you even come from? I followed the divine thunderbolts until they led me here, just like you. Months of wandering across seas, forests, and villages brought me to the shore. Months? I understand that you two had a difficult road to travel, but you did not falter, and in doing so you proved your devotion to the gods. Well, I was actually nearby, just a short walk, and I was on the beach. Same for me. The corners of her lips suddenly dropped, cleared her throat, and forced a smile back onto her face. She went so far and we did nothing. You haven't had the honor of proving your determination to our Lord. You must be quite envious of me now. Sure. You already know our names, but we don't know yours. It would be proper for you to introduce yourself. Of course. Where are my manners?
You can call me Pythia. It's both my title and my name.
You can call me Pythia. You can call me Pythia. Both my title and my name. Pythia? Callias raised his eyebrow, surprised. I nudged his shoulder. Who is this whole Pythia? I think I've heard of her before. The priestess of Apollo with the ability to predict the future. They say that her words are the will of the god, and her prophecies are known throughout the whole world. I knew she must be a priestess, but it never occurred to me that we could be dealing with Pythia herself. I'm glad to hear that you've heard of me. Then you must already understand that my prophecies are not mere guesses. Every word I speak finds its reflection in reality. Pythia looked at me, straightening up. Her smile faded, replaced by a serious expression.
Young man, as an emissary of the gods, a tough road lies ahead of you, full of obstacles and dead ends.
You'll face trials that few mortals could survive. That's why you must remember your comrades, both those who are here now and those who will stand by your side in the future. A general must care for their army. However, you will need to find a balance between loyalty to your comrades and fulfilling the role destined to you. Oh, cool. If this has like something like Valkyrie profile in it, I would be very happy. Satisfying everyone is impossible. It may turn out you will need to focus on one person, the one who will become closest to you, the Bay. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe a Bay? I think so. It could be a Bay. Even though Pinthia spoke in riddles, I managed to grasp the meanings of her words. Sooner or later, I'd have to choose the person I trust the most. That person will become my confidant, or perhaps something more. I glanced at Callias and Vespera, wondering who I would follow if I was forced to choose. I can't forget about those mysterious future companions too. Who knows which of them I'll trust the most? Very well, I can foresee your future with one of these people. Just one? Every prophecy I make demands my complete effort. If I attempted to craft more than one, the torment involved could drive me to madness. I nodded, regretting my question. Pinthia travelled for months to offer her help, and here I was about to ask for something she couldn't give. I also need an object that reflects this person. Without it, my ritual cannot proceed. Do not worry, simple objects you can find on the beach or in the forest will suffice.
Now, come closer, young man.
I took a step forward and suddenly a strong herbal aroma hit my nose, causing my head to spin. Before I could react, Pinthia grabbed my hand. I felt a strange tingling that coursed through my entire body. Ah, my brain. It trembles! Pinthia closed her eyes and gripped her hand tighter, her nails digging into my skin. How curious. Her eyes opened and she let go of my hand. I stumbled backwards, barely managing to regain my balance. Are you alright, Sora? Yeah, she just scared me a bit, Zol.
In your future, I see 5 people you'll be able to grow closer to. I also know which item symbolizes each of them.
5. Now, all that's left for you is to bring me one of those items. Oh, look at these ones. Understood. Once you find it, bring it to me alone. Wait, and what about us? You'll have to wait. My prophecy can only be heard by the one I'm prophesizing to.
Whatever.
What a stupid rule. Cynthia closed her eyes, considering the conversation over. We walked out of the meadow and into the forest. Vesperia's sighs were a clear sign that an argument was on the horizon. Are we seriously gonna waste our precious time just to search for junk? You should. You heard her, it's Pythia, the envoys of the gods. Oh, that's what they think at least. Vesper shook her head, clearly dismissing Pythia's prophecies as utter nonsense. Even if it's just baseless fortune telling, it can't hurt to give it a shot. We should take all the help we can get. Exactly. It's not like every day the most revered priestess in the land offers to tell you your future. Do yourself, at least I won't have to listen to this drivel. Callias clapped his hands, taking as an agreement. He was extremely excited, as we were about to have the time of our lives. Alright, let's start the search then. Remind us, boy, what exactly we're supposed to be looking for? A brass coin. Maybe we'll find one on the beach, or maybe someone dropped one along the forest path. Let's split up. I'll check the beach. We need to dig through the sand or go treasure hunting. Catch. Vespera pulled a small pouch from her belt and flicked a coin towards me. She moved so fast that I barely caught it in time. I turned it over between my fingers. It was heavy, its surface gleaming under the sunlight. A brass coin? Just what we need for the ritual. Hey, wait a second. Weren't we supposed to find it in the forest or the beach? You're cheating. We don't have time for pointless games, you imbecile. Priestess said we could find them there, not that we had to. Alright, so Vespera's the clever one. Talia scoffed, clearly frustrated. Seems like he wanted to be the one to find the object first. But with a single move, Vespera had completely deflated his enthusiasm. A dirty trick. Not that I expect anything less from the likes of you. Well, you two can argue about that. I'm heading back to Pinthia. I tightened my grip on the coin to make sure I didn't drop it, and made my way back to the meadow. I wondered who this coin could represent. Someone who dealt with money, a banker or a merchant maybe? You're back already? That didn't take long. Yeah, let's just say I got lucky. I handed her the coin. She took it with both hands, studying it closely. Her pupils widened and her lips parted slightly. A brass coin. Oh, ordinary. Passed through countless hands each day. Exchanged as a payment for goods. Driven by profit, but hiding something more. Something almost no one knows. She sighed, the corners of her lips trembling as if from strain. Instinctively, I took a step back. A seductress. Croquette, and yet still alone. With her favor, do not defy her. Shower with her with praise. Show her that you see what others cannot. Her smile is a mask, her words an illusion, her touch a game. And in this game, she is always the one holding the cards. The more you think you're in control, the deeper you fall into her trap. Her delicate fingers twisted the coin back and forth, bending it. I watched the spectacle, not daring to blink for fear of missing something. When the lights fade and darkness shrouds the island, only her voice remains. Melodic, soothing, true. If you hear it, perhaps she will grace you with her magic. Oh, we got an achievement. She opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something. Then her shoulders slumped as she leaned forward. Terrified, I took a step closer, ready to catch her, but she raised her hand, stopping me.
It's okay. I'm fine now.
She shook her head and opened her eyes. They were hazy, as though she hadn't fully returned to the present. Her hands were trembling. Everything alright? Cynthia looked directly at me, her face lighting up with an unnaturally wide smile.
Sometimes the truth is just part of the illusion.
What? Suddenly I felt a soft pressure on the back of my neck as though a cold hand had brushed my skin. My breath caught in my chest and my heart raced. I instantly turned around. There was no one there. It must have been the wind. I swear, someone was standing behind. I turned back to Pinthia and furrowed my brows. The meadow was empty. What in them? I crouched down at the spot where I had seen Pinthia. The grass blades stood undisturbed. There was no sign that anyone had been here before. A few moments later, I heard the steps of my companions. You were taking your sweet time, so we came to check on you just in case.
What?
Wait, where's Pinthia? She vanished into thin air. Vanish, you say? If this is some kind of trick, then. It's no trick. I shot back sharply, making Vesper raise an eyebrow. See for yourself, not a trace of her remains. They stepped back, allowing Vesper to approach. She scanned the area, astonished. See, as if she was never here in the first place. She opened her mouth as wanting to say something, but closed it a moment later, moving a few steps further and examining something on the ground. A confident smirk appeared on her face. Yeah, you're right, she was never here. What? She was just our delusion, come here. Callias and I joined Vespera. In the tall grass lay a small pile of twisted, half-burned roots. That biting herbal scent hit me again, the one I had noticed earlier. Mandragora roots? Someone must have been partying hard in here. Callias turned to me, noticing the confused look on my face. An extremely potent halogen. Some people, even satyrs, burn it and inhale the fumes, which causes various hallucinations. Just like us hallucinating Pintia. But how's it possible that all three of us saw and heard the same thing? While group hallucinations aren't exactly rare, this one was pretty unusual, but definitely not impossible. I can't believe it, but she looked so real, I could even feel her touch. I looked at the hand Pintia grabbed earlier, but I couldn't find any traces of it. Just an illusion. Let's leave already, this tent just gave me a headache, but where's the coin? Callias and Vespera stood up and started walking away. Wouldn't we still have the coin then? Just an illusion? I stared at the pile of half-burned roots. I felt strange. Pintia, the woman I've been talking to, didn't exist. She was just a figment of my imagination. A gust of wind shook the ash, which swirled through the air and flew right past my face. Something suddenly sparkled in the middle of the pile. I brushed aside the half-burned roots with my hand, ignoring the fact that they might be poisonous. Hidden in the ash was a bent brass coin, the one that Pintia used for a ritual.
Ahem.
Sora, what are you doing here? Get a move on. I struggled to tear my gaze away from the coin. I clenched my hand around it, but after a moment I loosened my grip. The coin sank back into the ash, disappearing from my sight. Sometimes the truth is just part of the illusion. I stood up, brushing the ash from my knees, and rushed after Callias and Vespera, who were leaving the meadow. We returned to the beach after a short trek through the forest.
Right.
What were we talking about earlier? Oh, right. So how are we supposed to find Hades? The best starting point would be a journey to a nearby village of Alenus. Trade is thriving there, and a traveling caravan should prove a valuable source of information. Sounds like a good idea. Of course it is. After all, I'm the one who came up with it. Okay. Accept invite. Need this. And what? And go back and yeah, and yeah. Make sure of it. How do we give you feedback? Oh, what did I like the most? How unhinged it was. What character was my favorite and why? Zeus. Savage. Yes. I cannot wait for the full version. My nickname is perfect. Okay, so we joined the Discord and we gave feedback. Now what we should probably do, exit out of this. Let's go into the achievements. So we need to fail the mini game for an achievement. I'm not good at failing mini games though. And then it's just the items. Okay, so it's just going back and getting these items as well. That was a really fun demo. I had a really good time with it. I can't wait for the full release. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Thank you for hanging out with me today and watching this. A lot of fun. I can't, like I said, I can't wait for the full release. This game gave me life, so thank you for listening, and I'll be carrying on with my Haven playthrough. I'll be uploading day 2 of that probably in the next couple of days. In the meantime, I hope you have wonderful time zones, and again, thank you for watching. And thank you for listening.